Hey, what's going on, guys? It's White Gaming, back again with some more Icarus. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you are all good. What we're going to be doing today is going over some basic tips and tricks. We've had a whole 7 beta weekends. That have been going on for nearly 2 whole months. And over those 2 months, I've been thinking about a load of little tips, little tricks that have helped me, that I've learned over each weekend, that will hopefully help a lot of you guys as well. New players and returning players. There's some little things in here that you might not know if you played every beta weekend. There's also a lot of things in here that will help those newer players. And there may even be things in here that you know slightly, but it might help you speed up a process. Now, on a session-based game, speeding things up is vital. If this video helps you at all, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, I greatly appreciate it. So XP is a big part of this game, and you're going to need a lot of it. Now, there are several ways you can do it, but a very simple way, and it's relatively passive, it's pretty easy. You just run. Literally run through the forest. Throughout the time playing the game, you're going to need to go from point A to point B quite a bit. So as you're running through the forest, hold F, look down, and just pick things up. It's not much. You get 10 XP per gather resource. But as you're running along, that adds up quite quickly, especially to the low-level players. If you've just started, this is a real nice way to actually get a nice chunk of XP. Oh. And obviously another way is killing wolves. If you are killing animals as well, make sure you skin them. Even if you don't take the stuff, you will get a little bit of XP for skinning them. Oh, look at that. They're all coming for me. Just skin the animals, you'll get a nice chunk. Hunt them down as well. Any animal that I come across, if I can get a nice stealth attack on it, then I'll take it out and it'll just get me that little bit extra XP. So another reason that you want to be running and holding F, gathering as much of this as possible. Now, they may nerf this. I'm not 100% sure if they will or not. But crafting. If you head over to crafting, you get XP for everything that you craft. So there we go. 50 XP per arrow there. You don't even need to keep the stuff that you're crafting. I can craft 45 bandages right now. So, oh, cancel. Let's destroy all the sticks because we don't need them. We'll craft all of these bandages. We're getting 80 XP per crafted item there. It adds up really quickly. Just for these small amounts. It isn't much, and I know it's not going to break the bank. It's not the greatest, but it will really, really help you just to get that little bit extra. Same with like fires and all that kind of stuff. Queue them up. Beds. Queue it up. If you've got the resources to do so, just do it. And then once you've crafted them, what you can do is destroy them. For things like this anyway. For the bandages and stuff. And you'll get the fiber back in your inventory. So you can keep doing that. And then you can recraft them. Again and again and again. Now, when you get to the later levels and you've got guns and stuff, just running around hunting down animals is going to be much more profitable. But for the early starts, this works really nicely. You get a nice chunk. You destroy it all. Destroy, destroy, destroy. And then start again. Granted, haven't got a lot. It's not much. But it's better than nothing. Bandages again. We can craft 17 still of those. Fires we can craft. We can only craft 1 fire this time round. Bandages. We can still craft a load of those. Just keep doing it. Keep going over and over again. You'll get yourself a nice chunk of XP. And it's very, it's a nice passive way of doing it as well. So hunting animals is going to be a massive part of this game. And the easiest way to do it is stealth. If you can get a sneak attack up, you get 2.5% damage, and you can take out most items, well, most smaller animals with just quite simply a bow and arrow. I'd recommend using the bone arrows, because they've got a little bit more damage, and if you really want to invest in some, oh, there we go. If you want to invest in some skills towards it, go with combat and arrow speed and quick load. That'll get you a little bit more damage, and obviously you'll be able to get more arrows down range nice and quick. Now, deers and stuff like that are really, really easy. But if you're taking on bears and some of the bigger animals, they can be a bit of a pain in the arse. Wolves, easy. You can sneak one-shot those. As long as you get a headshot and hold your bow nice and tight, just keep holding it, and eventually it will start to shake like that. When it starts to shake like that, that's when you want to do it. So we have a Wolfie boy just on the other side of these. Screen is shaking. Bang, headshot. Stealth attack, 2.5% damage, 2.5 extra damage. I don't know if it's 2.5% or double damage, basically. I'm pretty sure it's double. And obviously, as we said earlier on, just skin them, bish bash bosh. You can make yourself a whole load more bow and arrows to get that little bit extra XP as well. So throughout your time on Icarus, you're going to come across a lot of bears. Relatively easy to kill. Sometimes. It all depends on your surroundings. Now, the best way I would say dealing with these guys is pretty simple. If you're near a water source, just run, head in. This goes for pretty much every single animal. For some reason, they are really slow in water. Go get in some water, get your knife out, wait till they're in the water. Make sure you're swimming, make sure they're not on a ledge so they can move quicker, and knife them in the face. Bang, done, easy. They don't even get any damage to you. They swim a lot slower than what you do, so it really does work nicely. It works for wolves as well and some of the other enemies. So it's just an easier way to keep your health up nice. Now, so building is going to be a massive part of this game, especially if you're playing Outpost, which is the pretty much just building free-for-all mode without the timer. So you can sit there and build for as long and as much as you really want to. Now, it's very easy to build, like really easy to build. The building system is so simple. I really like it. It's not difficult, it's not confusing, things snap nicely, and there's a lot you can do with one item. Now, you might not know, if you hold R, you can pick different ways of placing different items. So we can have diagonal beams, horizontal beams, vertical beams, and then if you go to your walls, hold R, you can have double window, left, right, double wood wall, double door, single door frame, single window. Even better. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's so many things that you can actually do with this. The roofing system is really cool. You can switch up with loads of random bits of that. So the rooftops are actually brilliant. You can do loads of funky stuff with them. Oh, hello. And there's different ways that you can actually put your rooftops together as well, which is quite cool. So as you can see here, you've got, that one is locked, that's the stairs because they haven't actually bought into that yet. But the roof, ramp, they're two different things, and then you've got the corner bit there. But what you can do, if you wanted to make a sort of pyramid as well, you can just craft some different corner pieces. So there's the building throughout the entire game is so cool. There's so many different things to do. I can't wait to get into the full action where we can go mad, and it's worthy of getting into that concrete builds and all that kind of stuff. And then, as you can see here as well, these green things. So what this green thing means is basically that you are safe. There's not too much of a load on the single piece, which is good. That's what you want. You don't want too much of a load on it, because then it will start to crack and crumble. And it obviously just makes it a lot weaker. So then when that starts to go yellow, that means it's taking too much strain. And then it will go red. If it goes red, that means it's about to collapse. So always keep an eye on that. It's a good little indicator. It really does help. Easiest way to fix it as well is quite simply, if you do have anything that's there, just whack a couple of beams on pieces like this. There we go. It makes things so much easier. And then if you really wanted to, you could go with a horizontal beam across there like that. A diagonal one, sorry. And that'll just fix everything up. Make it nice and strong. Next up is building a base. Now, this is more of a personal preference, but for me, what I really like to do when I build my base is build it near the main dropship that you come in on, because that's where you're going to need to get out of, and also near a water source. Failing that, between the dropship and my objective, there's somewhere that I will always pick. It's more of a personal preference. Obviously, you might want to build near your objective. You might want to build somewhere that just looks pretty. But I will always build next to a lake, mainly because it's the safest place. When you're sat on a lake, the one thing that you're going to see a lot of is wildlife. Obviously, you constantly need water, so there's water right there. There's animals absolutely everywhere, so you don't have to go looking far. There's oxite absolutely everywhere, and there's also, down in the water, there's fish. So, it's a win-win. There's fish, there's meat, there's water, there's oxite, and you're a lot less likely to be attacked by a bear. I always find that bears always get me when I'm in the actual forested areas, and that's about it. Like, if I'm out by a river, I rarely encounter them unless it's a mission bear. So it's always something to keep in mind. And when you are building it, for a starter base, I would say a nice little 2x3 or 3x3. That will do you just fine. And if you are in an area that you just want to get in and you've got to build a load of stuff to do your mission, 3x3 will do you fine. You'll be able to fit pretty much everything that you need to do those missions in, and then you can do what you need to do and get out without wasting too much time on building a massive beastie base. It's nice and simple. Fire is your enemy in this game, but it's quite easy to sort out. Build yourself a fire whacker, hit the fire, just hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit that fire, just keep hitting it, and there we go, that's out. That can save yourself a nice bush, or it can save yourself a nice base. Always have a fire whacker nearby, especially for storms and things like that, because you are desperately going to need it. You're going to need a lot of iron, coal, sulfur, platinum, all of that good stuff. And you will find it in areas like this. So when you're wandering around, you'll see something that just looks like a random indent in a cliff, or just a random flat wall. Go up to it, and you'll see that it says that it's stone. If it says that, then you've found yourself a cave. All you've got to do is simply beat out the rocks around it. Bish, bash, bosh, and you are in. And when you get in this cave, you will find all sorts of good stuff. And there we go. Done. Which brings us to our next point. A torch. You're going to need a lot of light. It gets dark pretty quick. And it can be really difficult to actually do what you want to do. So I'm here now. I want to get this coal. I want to beat it, but I can't because I haven't got the right stuff on. Press Q, drop your torch, still see what you're doing, and I can also beat up the iron. Sorry, it's iron, it's not coal. I was very wrong. You can beat it up. Your torch will still stay lit. You can do this with multiple torches as well. If you want to light an area up, build loads of torches and just drop them on the floor. Obviously, if you're on wood or around bushes and things like that, you will set them on fire, so you've got to be careful with that. You will also set yourself on fire if you're not careful, like that. So just, you know, try not to burn yourself too much. Oh my god, dip, quick, dip, get in the water, fool. Now another, so the torch is great, like I said, but you might be running through some forests where it's dark, it's dangerous, and you might come across something that you don't actually want to see. And you're going to need a weapon in your hand if you need to get rid of it. So, fire the flare up, just like that, and it will light up the whole area. If you fire it directly up, they do last quite a while. It does go dark for a little bit whilst it's up, but as it's coming back down, it lights up the area. But as soon as the flares come into contact with something, they go out, which I don't like that. I'd like it if you could, you know, shoot them into a rock or something like that, and then they actually stick. So, but they do work really well. They're nice and bright, and they keep the area lit up for a good amount of time. And they do light up a rather large area, so they are quite fun to use. If you've got loads of you as well, and you fire loads of these into the air, it does look quite cool. So there we go, look at that. That's lighting up everything around me. That's more than what your torch is ever going to do. But in terms of crafting costs, obviously the torch is a lot cheaper. So next up is your health bar. It's relatively low. It's not a very big health bar. I've already put some bits into mine, so which is why it's a bit bigger than normal. But you can change that really easily with 4 simple things. One of those is a campfire and fuel for the campfire, so 5 simple things. Some wild berries, some cooked meat, and some cooked fish. Now, if you click on those, consume that, that will give you an extra bar down below. If you consume the fish, that will also give you an extra bar down below. And then finally, if you consume the meat, that gives you another bar. Now, alongside meat, if you just eat meat as and when you need it, it will continue to keep those buffs up. As you can see at the bottom there, you've got a timer for how long they last. As soon as those buffs are gone, that extra health will disappear. But meat, you can continue to eat and it will upgrade your well, it won't upgrade, sorry, it will improve your health. So as soon as your health drops down a little bit, just keep eating meat and it will help you back up. You don't really need med kits or anything like that. Obviously, meat is a very slow way to do it, but it is one of the easier items to come by.